What's going on, everyone? My name is Tyler Royke. I'm here with my co-host Jimmy Doolin. You're listening to ABC Agent Broker Conversations, where we talk all things real estate. And Jimmy, we're getting back to it this week. But how's everything been here, man? I know it's been almost a couple weeks since we last spoke.
Yeah, it's good, man. I celebrated my 27th wedding anniversary on Friday, so that was a big milestone. And the funny thing is, I was thinking I met Tamara when I was 26, and I'm now celebrating 27 years with her. So that's a pretty big one. So
Most
yeah,
of your life. Wow, how about that?
yeah. So exciting stuff. First quarter, my team came in like 53rd or 56th, something like that, out of the 5,343 teams in EXP. So that was pretty exciting. See that volume. I had a big 3.25 million closing, so that was pretty exciting. Yeah, lots of good stuff, man. I proclaimed when the year started. I told my wife and I told my son, my year. 2025 is my year. This is the year that we break out. This is the year we turn a lot of corners. And I would say we are doing all of that and then some. So our team continues to grow. I think we've added first quarter. I think we added around 20 people or so. So I was real happy with that. Yeah, I mean, it just keeps getting better.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. So 20 people total to the organization,
I think that's about right. Yeah, the whole organization, not Jimmy Doolin specific, but the organization as a whole. I think that's about right.
Yeah. Well, hey, congratulations on a great couple weeks, it sounds like.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess I should go so far as to say my wife iconed, and I think I icon either today or tomorrow. So it's that means when I get to June and I celebrate my 1 year anniversary as Clubhouse RE, that means we found ourselves into the top 50 in EXP. My wife iconed, I iconed. That was, I don't know. I kind of view that as a gift. I don't know what else to call it, but that means we got about 50 grand in stock in our first year. And the beautiful part is there's nothing like iconing at the time when the stock is struggling, right? When the stock market's down, there's nothing like iconing when it's at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where you want to be. Probably contrary to how a lot of people feel about it. I mean, yeah, you want to pile up on those
Oh
shares.
man, I
Low,
want
that
to
one's
take full
high.
advantage of the
Yeah,
opportunity. Uh,
exactly.
we're leaving on Wednesday for the Nashville sales rally. So excited about that. I've not been to one. So that's going to be, I mean, I've obviously been to sales rallies, but not one with EXP. So I'm going to get that first experience with EXP. So looking forward to that.
What made you pick the Nashville one? Was that just the nearest, or what factored into that?
No, so Cincinnati is closer to me, but Cincinnati is sold out. I don't know what the secret sauce is there that sells out Cincinnati. But it was sold out, and so we decided that we would go to. We wouldn't let that stop us, so we're going to Nashville, taking I think 6 people, 4 of which are from other organizations. So we're taking some guests, and we're going in the day before. Made dinner reservations, got the hotel rooms all booked. So yeah, the 6 of us are going to, go out into Nashville and enjoy Nashville, and then Thursday go to the sales rally, and then head home from there.
That sounds like an awesome plan.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. It never hurts to get plugged in, right? And, these are opportunities for growth and to share and meet people, and so yeah, looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm looking at potentially getting to one here as well in the next couple weeks. So yeah,
I'm
we'll
surprised you don't have a chartered bus with like 30 people on it. That's more your stuff.
yeah. Well, I mean, my people are all around the country, so if anything, I'm hoping that different people in different places get to different rallies. So yeah, we'll see though. But yeah, I'll probably get to one out here in Texas.
Nice, for sure. I'm excited about it. Hey, I got a question for you. Have,
Yeah,
have you ever been a Kindle guy?
Kindle,
Yeah,
like the books.
yeah,
I mean, I'm more. Oh, that like an actual Kindle?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never had one. I mean, closest thing to it I've had is an iPad, but I mean, I have the Kindle app on there, but I think I use the iBooks more. I mean, it's kind of similar, but
Well, I bought my first Kindle, and I bought this specific one because you've got the notepad pad of paper.
hmm
But for guys like you and me, so something pretty neat about this. Number one, you can read a book and highlight and underline and all that good stuff, and then you can extract that information that you liked in the book out to a piece of paper. Or number two, you can also take notes. Like when I go to the sales rally, I'll use this instead of paper and pen, and I'll take notes. But there's an AI function on there where I can ask AI to take all of my handwriting, turn it to text, summarize it, and then I can email it out to any of the agents that I feel it's appropriate. Or I can ask AI to actually rewrite it, and like I can tell them what kind of tone, or like turn it into sales pitch, or turn it into informational or whatever. I can give them the tone that I want, and they will rewrite it for me.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, then that
So
becomes a PDF that I can just email right out to people.
is it like is it very similar to like writing on a notepad, like just the
It is
way it
it is so similar to a piece of paper. It's uncanny.
wow.
Now, if you're not going to read on it, if you don't want the function of taking notes from books and reading, so I want to. I'm going to write another book. I already, I think I told you I wrote one book, and I'm going to write a second one. But one of the things that I really liked about this is, when you read a book and sometimes there's just a little line that sticks with you for whatever reason. I often will forget, especially because I do a lot of Audible books. I'll forget where that line, where I got that line, or what book or what page or whatever, because I'm driving down the road when it kind of pops into my mind. So in this
hmm
scenario, when I see it, I can when I see that note, I can copy it and then transfer it, and I can just like title it notes from XYZ book, things that I want to remember.
Yeah, that's neat. I mean, it sounds like a great tool. I might need
I
one.
think so too. I just got it. So it's I guess it's my anniversary gift to myself. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So I just thought I'd ask you if you've ever been so inclined. It feels good. The pen comes on the side, but the writability on a piece of paper. Now, if you just want to write, there's one called the Remarkable, and if you just want to write and you don't want books, that is unbelievable. So I first went and got the Remarkable, and I wrote on it, and I thought when I got the Remarkable I was getting this one, um, but I was obviously wrong. So I took the Remarkable back and then got this one. This is the Kindle Scribe, and the first one I got was Remarkable, and it is amazing. Like, it is like writing on a piece of paper, but it does not do books at all. No books whatsoever. Um, you can write and take notes and all that kind of stuff, but you just don't get to read or anything on it.
On the Kindle Scribe.
Yeah, so I got a Kindle Scribe.
Got it. So different tools depending on if you want to just write or read or both.
So the Kindle Scribe gives you kind of a combination between a book and the notepad. So it gives you both,
Okay.
The notepad's probably not as good as the Remarkable, but the Remarkable was full color, and the Scribe is black and white. But my intention is to download all of my all the things that I use when I talk to somebody about EXP and explaining it. I'm going to put all those on here and be able to take this into a coffee shop and just flip it around, and I can show them things on here, but then I can also flip to a piece of paper and put their scenario in and talk through, and then I can save those notes to their file. So if I meet with them again, I will have all that information.
It's like a modern Gene Frederick napkin presentation.
That's exactly right. That's
so cool. I love the sound of that.
And that's what I want to do with this. It is my 2025 napkin. You're exactly correct. That's how I viewed it as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I gotta get it mastered. I'll have it in Dallas when I see you. So you're gonna see me. This is what I'm gonna take notes on in Dallas. I've got to kind of crash course and get myself up, running, and prepared, so that I'm ready to go. You know what? It just dawned on me. I actually have huge news for you and for our viewers, and that is my son, who I've been coaching, mentoring, training, etc., in real estate down in Jacksonville, Florida. I've been explaining to him that door knocking, you need to view door knocking very similar to a listing presentation. In other words, you're creating a listing presentation where you don't have a client calling you, right? Because you go up on their door, you knock, and when you get into a conversation, think of it as your presentation to get their listing, because he's knocking on expireds predominantly. So the other day he says to me, "Dad, you're not going to believe it. I got the first." So this is his first one in Jacksonville, where he lives. He's had two other listings, one in Tampa and one in Lakeland. One was a door knocking there in Tampa. The Lakeland was a referral from an agent in Indiana that I know. But he got his first one in Jacksonville, and it was an expired. The lady, he's been talking to her for about 8 months. And of course, I'm helping him through what to do, when to do it, and all that. Anyway, she texted him the other day, responded to one of his messages, and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you about selling the house." So then it was full tilt, getting prepared for a listing presentation, right? Getting all his I's dotted, T's crossed. And I said to him, you have to understand something. You've already been through the listing presentation. Listing presentation's over. When you go out now, you're going out to list the house. And he's sweating bullets, getting ready for all this stuff. And sure as shit, goes out, signs the contract.
Heck yeah.
Wasn't a presentation. I explained to him that all of what he had done for the last 6 months, 5 months, whatever he's been talking to her, that was the presentation. You proved to her your ability. She took his list price advice. She took his staging advice, and she signed her contract. And so away they move forward. So I'm so proud of him, because it takes time to cultivate when you're new, when you're young, you're fresh to the marketplace. If you don't have a sphere of influence, if mom and dad don't live in that community and can pass along their adult friends who may potentially want to buy or sell. So anyway, I'm really, really proud of him. That's
awesome. Well, congrats, JD, if you're listening, and keep up the great work.
Yeah, for sure. So now in this year, he signed a buyer contract for a buyer from 600 to 800. He signed a listing contract with this lady for 400, and the buyer is listing his old house with him. He's going through divorce. He's listing the family house with him for $4 million.
Wow.
So I mean, I told JD there aren't many agents that have. He started in June of last year. There aren't many agents, just in their first year that are going to say that they now have accomplished that. So I told them it's all coming around, just as I told them it would. Just have to be patient, right? So I share that for all of our younger viewers that are newer to the business. Patience, consistency, patience, stay with it.
Yeah, very important. I think the biggest struggle people have getting their business off the ground is they stop too soon doing the activities that would have set them up for success had they kept going. From like just there's a volume. You have to put enough reps in for one, but that's also how you get good at any given thing. You're not going to get really good at anything if you do it too short a period of time. You got to keep putting your best foot forward to keep refining the process and your skills and the firsthand understanding you have about how to get results with anything, because it all works. Door knocking works, but are you gonna be great at it your first month doing it? Probably not. I was meeting with one of my agents a couple days ago. I was in Houston and linked up with a couple of my agents in Houston, and one of them is crushing it cold calling, and it's just something he's been working on his craft for over a year now. I remember connecting with him about a year ago, and he was expressing to me that he wanted to do cold calling, and he hadn't yet had it really dialed in. So I helped him with a few things to help with it. But just since that point, he's made so many calls. Like, he's got it down to like he's got a different level of confidence now. Like, he knows for a fact this week he can go make 500 calls. He knows exactly what that's going to result in if he does that, just because he's done it enough times. And he's not even worried about the person that he has a bad conversation with. He's not worried about someone being negative or not wanting to talk with him. He just knows it's part of the process. Like, and to develop that mindset, though, it's because he's been doing it enough to where, like, he knows the process now, and he doesn't let anything shake him. It's just a numbers game for him.
Who's he cold calling?
He's calling expireds, and then old expireds, and then also he's doing circle prospecting whenever he gets a listing.
Do you is he a guy that would come on and share?
Oh yeah. I mean, are you saying on the podcast or where?
Well, I've started a Zoom for my team and I do it Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's just internally for my newer team members, just helping them. And I want to bring ideas and things to the table. So I'd love to have somebody like him, come and share what he's doing, how he's doing it, what's working for him. I'd love to have him share if he'd be open to it. And obviously that creates some great referral opportunities for him. They'll get his name and number and know where he is.
Yeah, I think he'd probably be up for it if I asked him to. He actually just hosted a training for my group last week, so yeah, he was all over that.
Well, please ask him if he'd be interested, and if so, I'd love to have him next, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday.
Okay, I'll run it by him.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate it. That's to me, that's what it's all about, right? Trying to find ways for us to help each other grow. And that's the thing that I just continue to be impressed with this model is it is absolutely perfect from the perspective of creating a scenario where everybody wants to help everybody. You just don't know where the next opportunity lies.
Yeah. The collaboration is just something completely different than what I've seen anywhere else, not to the full extent that we have it.
So I want to show you, or not show you, I want to read to you. There was on one of those, you remember those things we were reading, a lot of those
groups?
Group things. There was one that said something about why it was something about they were surprised that EXP was number one, given that they were a Ponzi scheme. or that they were a pyramid scheme, not a Ponzi, a pyramid.
I think I saw that same one. I don't know why, something with the algorithm, but like I don't even click on groups like that. I literally don't even go in those groups. But like recently, I've seen there's this one group. I don't want to say the name of it, but I keep seeing stuff recommended. I'm not even a member of this group, and I keep seeing stuff recommended in my feed that's like it's like the person posting it is just trying to set off a comment war with people, like based on the topic. But I see stuff, and I think I saw that one in my feed, which I don't even follow the group, so I'm not sure why I'm seeing it in my feed. But yeah.
Well, I don't respond to them because I think they're AI generated, and I think it's just to, they're controversial subjects to get people to respond. But this concept that
It's a Ponzi scheme benefiting who? That's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Well, and this pyramid comment, I talk to people, as I know you do, all the time about EXP. And one of the things that I have lots of conversations about is that each business has an opportunity. They make decisions, and those decisions are based around how they want and how they see their company growing. So EXP could traditionally hire salaried employees to do the work of growing the organization. But instead, they chose to reward agents who were influencers and had the ability to help make this organization bigger, better, stronger, etc. And why in the world? The only thing I can think of is that some people think that's a negative, and the only reason why I can think that they think that's a negative is because they're not in a position to be rewarded for their efforts to make their company. Everybody who's with a brand, I don't care what company it is, Century 21, Remax, Coldwell Banker, ERA, everybody wants their particular company to be strong and successful so it stays around, and so they're proud of where they work. The only thing I can come up with is why anybody would be so negative about our model is because they can go and add friends and family and whatever to make their company better, and they can be proud of that, and that's good, but they don't get rewarded. And as a result of not getting rewarded, I think that somehow in their minds, they've concluded that it's a bad thing that I get rewarded. But I got rewarded as the broker owner of my franchises. I made money when I brought people in. That was the heart. That is the necessity of every brokerage, because the industry turns over 500,000 agents quit each year and 500,000 new agents join each year. So you've got 30% of the industry that comes in and 30% that goes away. So if you're not constantly working to attract and grow your brokerage, it's going to automatically shrink no matter what.
Yeah.
So somehow people have concluded that because agents get rewarded for those efforts here, that's a bad thing. And I got to tell you, that has to just be a defense mechanism, because they're ticked off that they don't benefit, they don't get any rewards,
or they're ticked off that they have agents reaching out to them about joining. But that's just the nature of what will happen if the incentive is actually there. Like, that's why you get reached out to by broker owners if you're a productive agent. It's no different there. Just the opportunity is here for the agent, not just for that person who owns that one office.
Yeah, the difference is at any of those other traditional type offices, the broker owner it should be prospecting, recruiting. If they're not, they've hired someone to do it, but somebody should be doing it. If they're not, they're shrinking. So the broker is going to benefit from that. Over here, they've taken the benefit and said, hey, you don't have to be the broker owner, and you don't have to buy a franchise, and you don't have to spend all this money. We've created a platform where you can participate in that revenue share without having all the expenses, and we'll build the infrastructure behind you to support you. What's wrong with that? What makes that bad?
Well, yeah, the production's undeniable. Like there's no way whoever posted that actually thinks that. I think it's just someone trying to stir the pot, or
I
if
think so too.
or AI potentially, or combination thereof. Maybe someone trying to stir the pot who, put a prompt into AI and they're just copying whatever they were given back to stir things up. But honestly, too, I've seen posts like that. Um, I almost think that honestly wouldn't be shocked if there's someone doing that for the purpose of figuring out in the comments who they could prospect. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if someone might be doing that to try to find agents to actually attract into, because think about it, you're going to have two sides of it. You're going to have people that pile on and agree, and you're going to have other people that don't. But what about the people that don't, that aren't with EXP? Like, to me, that those might be opportunities for someone you'd have a conversation with. So I wouldn't, as crazy as it might sound, um, I wouldn't put it past the possibility that whoever's doing that might actually be trying to attract people into the organization.
It's very possible. I'm not sure that it's a real person, as opposed to, because it's the same names over and over and over again that put these kind of controversial, if you will. And by controversial, I just, they're topics that get people fired up. I mean, they do it. They're not brand specific. They don't just pick on EXP. They pick on, it's the same ones that'll say, my broker told me I need to buy Zillow leads, and, or my broker this, or my brand this. And so I think they're AI driven. I think they're just bots, maybe. I don't know, because it's the same names over and over and over again. But I do get a kick out of them, and they do tend to ruffle feathers and get a lot of people fired up. It's amazing the number of people that will jump on there and just start. I even saw several people I know in my local office, on my team in my market, that, commented on them. And I think everybody's pretty much summarizes it. But anyway, I think they're pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, to me, I realized like a long time ago that it's just a vortex of your time that goes into that. And if it's not a positive, productive conversation, what am I even doing in it? Like, I started a group years ago that became like the biggest group in its niche, real estate related. And I decided to stop spending time on that for that exact reason. Even though it was my freaking group, I just completely dipped out of it. Just because I didn't like how, like, there was a tendency, and I think it's very much true to this day, there was a tendency that conversations would go in a negative direction. And at one point I decided, you know what, this isn't a place where I want to spend my time. And I mean, had that not been the case, I'm sure I could have, like, there's no doubt I could have leveraged that group to attract a lot of agents into the organization. But, I just decided to kind of disassociate from it, because, like, no matter what, it's like, I guess unless you just ban people left and right, it's like the conversation would just go in that negative kind of spiral. And that's just not what I'm about. So, and I know a lot of people maybe don't have that same standard, and they just keep engaging with stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, it's good that, when you see that writing on the wall, that it's time to step away from it. It's good that you're able to do that, and that you do it, because you're right. You don't want to get sucked down a rabbit hole and waste your time. Hey, I forgot about something else that's good and new. I'm going into a new state today at 2:00.
Oh yeah,
Rhode Island.
Oh yeah, are you expanding there? You got a partner coming on?
I do. Cold call. Talked to this lady. She formerly lived in Indiana. That's how I got her. She moved to Rhode Island. And she signs today at 2:00. And so Clubhouse RE will officially be in Rhode Island. So I think that makes my 10th or 11th state now.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, because, Rhode Island's not a big place. So I think we can do well there. and she's been around for a while, so she's a very well educated woman and very professional. So I think she'll represent us well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those states I've never even been to it, but yeah, I've got someone there.
Oh, do you have someone in Rhode Island?
Yeah, yep. As small as it is, yeah. I think it's a state too. Where isn't it next to Massachusetts or something
Yes,
like
it
that?
is.
Yeah, I think. I think there. What is it? There's like some kind of. I've seen people get both in a few situations where they'll get one or the other. They'll get one first and then the other as far as the license. I guess it depends on where someone wants to cover, right?
Yeah, a lot of them have multi licenses: New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts. You know, uh, Vermont. New England states, because it's you can drive 5 minutes and you're in a different state.
Yep.
So
Yeah. What else is going
I'm
on?
excited about that. Expanding into a new state is a good thing.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. It's
are you actively working specifically targeting any areas, or is it just you cast that big net in, and wherever they come in from is the discussions you're having? But have you ever worked at a specific area?
no. I mean, not really. Um, yeah, I've never really targeted a specific area. I mean, probably when I was getting started with EXP, I kind of started like looking at more local places, but I mean, over time, it's kind of, just it turned into a situation where I wasn't targeting a specific area. Where I mean, wherever someone happened to be that saw my message, like today, even when I run, when I'm doing the digital marketing, my territory is the United States and Canada. That's kind of the parameters I put, but that could mean anywhere in the United States or Canada. So that's kind of the extent. So I'm not targeting anything outside of that, but
I'm
I
thinking
think,
about I'm thinking about targeting a specific picking a geographical area that's away from me. The whole theory, you can be 100 miles away and you're an expert. You can be in the backyard and your neighbors don't think you're that smart.
yeah, I think that's from the Bible too, right?
Yeah,
You're not a prophet's not recognized in his own hometown, something like
exactly.
that.
So that's the theory that I'm thinking about giving that a try. So I was just curious if you've ever specifically targeted anything. So I'll have updates on that from time to time. I haven't pulled the trigger on it. I'll have to add it to my subscription with Corded. But I'm really loving Corded. I can't say enough good about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I found it to just be so simple and so just easy, user friendly, no time wasted on BS. I'm just when I get on there, I can just go to town and start working and communicate with agents.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I'd
So
love to hear more about kind of how that plays out for you.
yeah, me too. I'll be curious to see what happens. So I'll keep you posted for sure. Well, my friend, I don't have much else. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the world of real estate, no, not so much. I mean, excited about what I'm working on and just the traction so far this year. I see a real big opportunity to build upon it here in the months ahead. So that's kind of the primary goal, but just to keep pushing forward with everything and set the right example. I am excited to report. I don't actually, this might be an update since our last one, but I'm excited to report that in the last 2 weeks, I have onboarded 2 agents from LPT Realty. So I'm super happy about that. That's a small victory for me.
Lettuce, pickle, and tomato, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And so,
was that from the conversations of the people that were going after one of your guys?
No, but that's kind of what why I consider it a small victory, but no, they weren't related.
Okay.
Just two different people I ended up connecting with who reached out to me, and we had conversations, and ultimately, for both of them, two people, two different markets, they don't know each other. But yeah, they were both at LPT previously, and now they're running with me here at EXP. So excited about that.
Well, that's good. I mean, after what you and I discussed about LPT, if they have any inclinations for a passive income, they needed to get the heck out of there because they weren't going to get it there.
Well, yeah, these guys, funny enough, they're like really focused on production. So I mean, but yeah, at the end of the day, there's some ways they saw that they were going to get help from working with me specifically, that it made sense to make that shift. But yeah, I'm excited to, hopefully help them create some really good momentum and kind of leverage that story into more to help them out, and then also to kind of help people see the light who haven't already seen both sides of it. But I think there very is a lot to the hype right now. Any company that's got good momentum, there's a lot of hype and excitement, but how long does it last? I think time will tell. But all I know for sure is that we've got a stable foundation here, and this is a place where there's more for someone who wants to grow if they actually tap into it than they're going to find elsewhere, just by the sheer scale that we're operating with at this point. And that's very undeniable. Just, question is like, what is someone's experience? I think in large part it's based on how they're plugging in with it, and also who they're running with, I think is a very, very big difference maker. Who are they aligned with within the organization? Because, that's going to probably dictate what they're kind of seeing and hearing day in, day out. If they feel like they're kind of on their own, or if they're plugging into something like Clubhouse, with you, it's like they've got a community that they're a part of, and they very much see and experience that. Or with me and the herd, like same kind of thing. But if someone's kind of just some agent out there, it's like, who knows what they're seeing and hearing every day, short of all the emails they get from the brokerage, which, it's easy to kind of get lost in all the news and resources and this, that, the other. But I think having that community for someone really does go a long way.
I forgot to ask the question, and this is probably the biggest topic right now in real estate. We're just acting like it didn't even happen. Clear cooperation. Like we didn't even touch on it. Here it's like it's blowing right by. It's going right over my head. So EXP took a pretty big stance. Leo came out, said that he did this, and I say it's a big stance because when you come out as the CEO of an organization and you take a position, your agents may or may not like that position. So it is big. It doesn't. It's not a lighthearted decision when they come out and take a stance, because now you've drawn a line in the sand. Because like anything in the world, whether it's politics or clear cooperation or religion, all of your agents don't have the same beliefs. So it's a big statement when a CEO comes out. But him and Rifkin are really, man, they couldn't be more opposite, could they?
No, I mean, what's interesting though is, well, yeah, I haven't seen any updates past week with this, but as of what I had last heard, like a week and a half, couple weeks ago, was there was that big MLS that basically put it out. I mean, you saw what happened. I think it was the Northwest,
Northwest.
Yeah, in Washington, where any private listing, it wasn't going to be on the MLS feed at all, like after that. And that was a pretty big deal because and I think that goes into effect beginning of May, right? So I think
they suspended Compass from the MLS.
Yeah. And so agents, their listing will not be syndicated anywhere. And I think that goes into effect like beginning of May here. So I think that's probably going to be I can't imagine being an agent and having to be accountable to your clients and explain to them why they don't see their listing anywhere online. Can you imagine that?
No. And and that's what I'm saying. These two CEOs took very different positions, and Rifkin with Redfin coming out and saying that they aren't going to that they want their private listings, and we've got agents in our market on social media bragging about how they have private listings. But if I'm a seller, like, it flies right in the face as to why you hire a realtor. You don't hire a realtor to keep it a secret. You hire a realtor to broadcast it and expose it to other realtors. I mean,
but they have a pitch though that sounds really compelling. Like that's their thing. They have this pitch. It sounds good. And yeah, I think what happened is, RCO looked at it and took the stance that, hey, this doesn't really benefit the seller in most situations. And there's data that supports that. I think Zillow put out a study where they looked at this, and it was really comprehensive as far as like the data they looked at and everything. But that was the stance, was like, hey, we're taking a position that's really best for the consumer, that it's supposed to be who we're serving as real estate professionals. Yeah, just kind of interesting to see. I can't imagine when Compass came up with this whole plan that they accounted for the idea that they could get suspended from MLSs and not even have the data feeds going out. I'm sure that wasn't a part of the plan.
No, that and Zillow's not going to publish their stuff. They're not going to syndicate it. So
yeah, exactly.
Ultimately, the seller's not going to get the exposure. They're going to get the internal Compass exposure, but no external exposure.
And their homes are going to sell for less if they don't find that initial buyer out the gate.
Right, because on average, they're going to start, by the time they finally get exposed, they're going to have 30, 40 days on the market.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think this ends up going well for Redfin, but we'll see. I guess time will tell. But my suspicion is that it doesn't end up being a positive move, and I think more likely than anything, Rifkin will end up backing down from it, and he'll end up going back to the drawing board to figure out how he overcomes it later. I would live to fight another day if I was him. I'd back down now. Now I know the strategy, what's going to come against me. So take a step back, go along with it, and then if he still believes in his plan, then go back after it after you re-strategize.
Yeah.
But time will tell. We'll see, right?
Yeah, but I mean, shoot, I think there's going to be quite a few agents feeling the pain here in the next month with that.
They could. I will say this, and I know Leo said that there are circumstances where it is appropriate and that he backs the owner's decision. But I will say and reiterate that I 100% support the consumer and homeowner rights. If they own the property, they should ultimately make the decision. And so I understand as an industry why we need to do it to keep our industry intact. We don't want to fall apart and become like some of these other countries where they don't have organized real estate and it's just a free-for-all. That's certainly not good for our industry. In the same token, I do believe that the owner, if they choose to have some sort of quiet period or private marketing period, whatever you want to call it, I do believe as an owner that they should have that right, because I don't think that it is their responsibility to follow our rules, or it's their responsibility to follow our code of ethics. If we start imposing those things on the consumer, then I think we drive the consumer a wedge between us and them. So ultimately, consumer's decision, but as an agent, I think you have to follow the rules. The only thing that supersedes the rules would be a consumer and what they want, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's I mean, there definitely are situations out there where, it might be like, talking about like where privacy is really a big issue for someone based on, what they do for a living or their, public figure or whatever. But that's very small percentage of scenarios. It's not like a whole segment of the market. Like it's a very, very small segment. It's not like 20% of the market, like, to where this should be the whole strategy for every single person. But yeah, they should have the ability, but it shouldn't, I don't feel it should be something where as professionals we're doing something that seems to be more in the interest of the agent and brokerage and not the consumer. I mean, that's because that doesn't serve our industry. Like
No.
the way we win is by actually helping people.
We're in the customer service business. So in the end, we need to serve the customer and serve their needs and what they want. So if they want it private it is, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that should not come a properly documented, properly executed contract that states what the customer wants should be an acceptable means of doing business, acceptable practice of doing business. But if the customer doesn't opt for that, then I think that the agent has an obligation to follow. If they're a member, and if they're then they have a responsibility to follow the rules and regulations of the membership they belong to. So anyway, well, there'll be more to come with that. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it again, but it just dawned on me that we hadn't discussed it. So, hey man, great week, great day. Appreciate it. Glad to be back on the airwaves with you. If you're out there and you're watching, you're listening, please comment, like, share, or heck, don't even like. Just go on there and like it, and then give us a land blasting comment and say that we're idiots and we didn't get it right. We'd be open to that. I've never considered the possibility that I couldn't be an idiot. It's always been a distinct possibility, but I'm working to be better every day. Aren't you, Tyler?
Yeah, every day you gotta constantly be growing. There's not a situation where you're either growing or you're going the opposite direction. So I'm all about growth.
Me too, brother. That's why I got my very first Kindle. So I'll have more updates on that as well. But listen, for Agent Broker Conversations, I'm Jimmy Doolin and my co-host Tyler Roike. Texas and Indiana, we've got those two states covered, but we'd sure love to get opinions in other states. So comment, like, share, but don't ignore. Let's just go with that. Don't ignore. Pick your means and let us know. Anyway, we hope to see you next week. Until then, have a great week.